something.
That's excellent.
I put in the chat box a link to the source sheet that's going around right now. I wanted to start by teaching you a song that is very well known in Israel. The song was written by Yiftach Karsner, who's more commonly known by the name Yafti. And he wrote it to be performed by his friend Amit Firksh. Amit's brother, Tom Firksh, was a pilot in the IDF, and he was killed in a helicopter crash during the Second Lebanon War. And this song that Yafti wrote for him and that his sister Amit, Tom's sister Amit, performed, has come in Israel to emblemize really the Second Lebanon War. I'm going to read each verse first in English so everyone understands what it is that we're singing. Before each verse, we'll pause and I'll read it in English. And the tune and the words repeat. So I'm hoping that by the third verse, everyone will be able to join me in singing along. You wanted to fly. You wanted already to go further. With half a smile, you lifted up. 1,000,000 stars in the sky catch the color of your eyes. Give just one more moment to say to you goodbye. Ratzita lauf, ratzita kvar hala, im chetzi chiruch, alita lemala, 1,000,000 כוכבים בשמיים תופסים את הצבע שלך בעיניים, תן רק עוד שנייה אחת לומר לך שלום. You wanted to fly, you went too far. Amidst the wreckage, there is no one to protect me. 1,000,000 stars in the sky catch the color of your eyes. I wanted one moment to say to you shalom. Join me if you can. Ratzita lauf, halachta rachok midai, בתוך הטירוף, אין מי שישמור עליי. 1,000,000 כוכבים בשמיים תופסים את הצבע שלך בעיניים, רציתי שנייה אחת לומר לך shalom. I wanted to sing. You lifted a guitar, an angel strumming for me now. So with you I sing, 1,000,000 stars in the sky catch the color of your eyes. I wanted to sing to you, say to you shalom. I wanted one moment to say to you shalom. Give just one more moment to say to you goodbye. אני רציתי לשיר, אתה הרמת גיטרה, מלאך מנגן, לי עכשיו איתך אני שרה. 1,000,000 כוכבים בשמיים תופסים את הצבע שלך בעיניים, רציתי לשיר לך, לומר לך שלום. רציתי שנייה אחת לומר לך שלום, תן רק עוד שנייה אחת לומר לך shalom. The picture under the lyrics is taken from, it's a placard in a park bench that I pass by all the time. For my father, Dr. A. Sadat, wish we could sit here one more time together. It's in Bull Park near my house. And every time I walk past that bench, I can't help looking at it and feeling touched, that feeling of longing to be together again with the person that you had loved and lost. It's so familiar. Familiar, similar to that song, רציתי שנייה אחת לומר לך שלום. I wanted one moment to say goodbye. תן רק שנייה אחת. Give one more moment. Similar and different. And as I was thinking about the difference between this sentiment from the son of Dr. Sadat, whoever he was, and from Amit Firch, I realized that I could think of really kind of three versions of this set of feelings, that feeling of wanting to be together again. I think the deepest, most anguished losses are the ones where we wish we could reverse the past altogether. We don't just want one more minute with the person. If we lose the person too soon, too suddenly, we just want the person back. And I won't say anything about that type of deep longing and sorrow today, except just to acknowledge how very, very painful it is. The sorrow expressed in the song, although this was a young man who died well before his time, is different. She wants to see him one more time to communicate something in particular. In that case, to get a chance to say goodbye. But for some of us, it may be something you didn't get a chance to ask. Or maybe an anger you didn't get to resolve. Maybe an apology you didn't get around to offering. Maybe you're not certain if the person knew just how much you loved them. Or maybe you don't know if they really loved you. When we wish you could have one more conversation to say things like that, what we are really asking for is to change some aspect of the past. I wish I had done it differently. Just one more conversation. The desire expressed on that placard, I think, is different. He's just, or she, I don't know if it's a son or a daughter, is just asking to sit together, just to be in their father's presence one more time. I don't see anything in that one little phrase asking to change the past, but just to experience it again. And that's also a very familiar feeling to me. And yet, as familiar as it is, it also doesn't quite make sense to me. I mean, if you could have that moment to sit together again, well, that moment too would pass. And then it would be just like all the other moments you did have when the person was alive. And it would be gone again, just like those moments were. In fact, one of my close friends shared with me a story from her family of having actually had that opportunity in an interesting way. So this friend was born in the Soviet Union, and she and her parents had the opportunity to leave for America when she was still a girl. And when her grandparents said goodbye to them, they truly believed it was forever. Communication across the Iron Curtain was almost impossible, and they did not think they would ever receive a visa to emigrate themselves. But then 10 years later, the USSR fell, and they were able to rejoin their daughter and son-in-law and grandchildren in Massachusetts. And it really was like being reunited with someone who had died. The thing is that the relationship was never the same after that. They had already mourned each other. They had undergone the loss. They had healed from it. And it's not that they didn't miss each other, but their lives have moved on. And now it just wasn't so easy to fit one another back into their rebuilt lives. Now, I don't know that it had to be that way, but this particular experience suggests to me that when we long to see our loved ones again for that one more time, what we are really asking for is to be returned to the past just for a moment. There's this aching desire that so many of us have. If only we could sit here one more time together. It's part of a human desire to stop the flow of time. Those million stars that catch the color of Tom Frick's eyes. Much of what we are seeing is actually light that was generated while he was still alive. If a star is 20 light years away, That means the light we'll see tonight was emitted 20 years ago. But long before we had that kind of scientific understanding, gazing up at the stars has always given people a sense of timelessness. The prophets and the ancient rabbis believed that the stars were angels marching in perfect rhythm to God's command, singing praises as they marched, never faltering and never changing, timeless. I want to take you now through a cute story from the Talmud, and it's based on this premise that the stars are timeless and unchanging. And the conceit behind this particular story is that when Moses went up to Mount Sinai, he didn't stop at the top of the mountain, but he actually went up amongst the stars. And that when a human being so messy and imperfect penetrated into that impassive realm, the stars suddenly became perturbed. So now if you look at the source sheet right under my little picture, get myself, there it is. At the time that Moses ascended on high, the serving angel said before the Blessed Holy One, Master of the universe, why is the progeny of woman among us? God said to them, he came to receive Torah. They said before God, a treasure that was concealed for you for 974 generations before the world was created, you want to give to flesh and blood? And I just want to pause here to point out like this 974 generations, this is before there was a world. So generations don't make sense. What they're really saying is that the Torah is eternal. It precedes the world by an unimaginable amount. The Blessed Holy One said to Moses, give an answer. Moses said, I'm afraid they will burn me with the vapor of their mouths. So why is he afraid of getting burnt? Because these angels are the stars. God said to him, hold on to my throne of glory and respond to them. So Moses said, Master of the universe, what is written in the Torah that you are giving me? I am Adonai, your God, who took you out of the land of Egypt. So Moses turned to the angels. Did you go down to Egypt? Were you enslaved by Pharaoh? Why do you need Torah? What else is written? Remember the holy Sabbath. Do you do any work that you need to rest? What else is written? Honor your father and mother. Do you have a father and mother? What else is written? Do not kill. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do you experience jealousy? Do you have an evil inclination? Immediately they, the angels, the stars, acknowledge the Blessed Holy One as it says, Adonai Adonenu ma'adir shimcha b'chol ha'aretz. Adonai, our Master, how majestic is your name throughout the land. And that quote from Psalms, it appears in the festival Musaf that we'll be reciting shortly. I think it's there particularly because of the word adir, majestic. But I think in this story, the angels are really emphasizing the word aretz, land or earth. God's most precious treasure, the story is telling us, does not belong amongst the perfect, unchanging stars. It could only be given to flesh and blood, specifically because we suffer, we were enslaved, because we work, because we are born to human parents, and that means because we die. To be human is to be bound by time. To be human is to be constantly changing, and change always involves loss. It turns out, now we know that it's not just true of humans. Everything in God's glorious world is constantly changing, even the stars. Even the stars on their own timescales eventually die. So the Talmud had that exactly inverted. What differentiates from the stars is not that we change and die and that they don't, but that we are aware of it and we regret our losses and our deaths. The stars, like us, are trapped in time, but only we wish sometimes that we could stop the flow of time. To be human is to allow ourselves to feel those feelings, to set aside time to remember, to be sad, to cry. And unlike the stars, to be human is to be aware of death. And that awareness is a burden, but also a gift. We're here today. Tomorrow, any one of us could be gone. The nostalgic ache to return and experience the past again, it hurts. But so much more painful is the desire expressed in that song, not to experience the past as it was, but to go back and change some piece of it. And I know that many of us have those feelings too. Life is messy, and it is almost impossible to live a life with no regrets. Yet, we can do a lot with whatever time we have. Make sure you express your appreciation of the people who touch you, big or small. Don't wait until you've lost them and it's too late. Most of all, make sure that the people you love know that you love them. Tell them every day